For more insights on Bo Xilai's trial, joining us now is our current affairs commentator, Victor Gao. Victor, welcome to our show. Thanks so much for joining us. You used to be the interpreter for former Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping. So what kind of impact do you think this is having on members of the party, as well as leaders in the party?
The Bo Xilai trial is a major event politically in China, as well as in terms of the rule of law. After all, over the past 20 years or so, Bo Xilai is the third member of the Politburo to stand trial. And it is very controversial. The government, the authority want to nail this case as purely a crime situation, violation of the rule of the law. However, there are people who in China who believe that this case is also at least partially politically driven. So I think the authority is dealing with this case very seriously. They want to nail the case so that Bo Xilai will never be able to overturn the verdict whenever it comes. But on the other hand, I think the legacy of this trial, which is still going on, will be felt for many years, if not decades to come. And it is a watershed moment, and I personally hope China can quickly turn over this page and move on to engage in many more important challenges that we are faced with.
Victor, you said it's a watershed moment, and I want to talk to you about some of the other watershed aspects of this, the social media. But before I get to that, I have to ask you, in cafes, in stores, just out in casual conversation, is this top of mind for the people of China? I mean, are you hearing a lot of talk about it?
Of course, I would say every person is talking about this, mainly because Bo Xilai was a very high-ranking official to start with, but also when he was the party secretary of Chongqing for almost 5 years, he launched many initiatives, and many of these initiatives actually were very popular among the people in Chongqing, and there were many people who are still very fond of his political legacy in Chongqing. For example, the cracking down on the crime gangsters and planting lots of trees to turn the city into a new direction of economic development, etc. So there is no short or lack of people who are fond of some of the political initiatives he launched in Chongqing. Therefore, unlike many other corruption cases in China in the recent years, where people actually do not have any sympathy for the corrupt official, in this particular case, Bo Xilai is controversial. It can be divisive in the Chinese politics. Therefore, I think it will be a very good challenge for the government to handle it as carefully as they can, to deal with this as it is on the crime situation, but also do not trigger any repercussion on the political side of the equation going forward. People are watching in China very carefully as to what exactly will be done to this case, and they are waiting for the verdict or the sentence or the almost assured conviction, as well as the implication it will have for the political reform in China, as well as for the rule of law going forward for many years to come.
Well, Victor, this is going to have to be brief. We're running out of time. But one of the other remarkable things about this is people can watch and follow this trial simultaneously. You say they're watching it very closely. People are saying that this is a kind of a new day for China's judicial system in terms of transparency. How do you view it?
Of course, I think this is an encouraging sign. I think with this a Twitter form kind of a communication directly from the courtroom to the general public, it is unprecedented. On the other hand, I think we do not need to overdo this. I remember in many of the court cases in the United States, live camera is not allowed, television is not allowed, etc. And sometimes in terms of these very important and momentous court proceedings, we do not need to rush for conclusion. I think we can give the benefit of doubt, and we can slow it down a little bit. We can have a more prepared transcript of the proceedings rather than having to chase the time and get everything out on the spur of the moment. So I think I see both pros and cons in this, and I hope eventually, transparency will prevail and people will get the benefit of all the details, and the true facts and the truth will be provided to the people.
Victor Gao, live for us in Beijing. Thanks for your analysis. Appreciate it.